Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. And today's video, I'm continuing my countdown of my top 100 favorite albums. This time I'm at number 41, and this album is Back Home Again by John Denver. So tune in to see my thoughts on this album here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well on this Saturday afternoon. I've been fairly busy this last week. I was on 3 different live streams from Tuesday to Friday. I got to be on with Ryan Conway from RWR Reviews last Tuesday. We did a video live stream there. Also with Jacob Martin on there. It was really fun. Doing our top 10 favorite childhood movies. Then Wednesday, I was on Pete's, whose channel is Playtendo Guy. He does a live stream every Wednesday. So first time I got to be on there, which was a real honor because I've been watching his live stream for a while. And he has a really good one with Andy, and Mike is a regular on there. Also got to be with Adam from What the Gym, just talking about whatever and answering questions from the comments. Always enjoy. And then Friday, yesterday, I did a live stream on Adam's What the Gym channel, also with Briar from Briar CD Showcase. We did our top 10 favorite movie characters, so you can see it on all those channels. I'll put in the descriptions where you can see me. So I haven't done a lot of videos myself on my channel because I've been on other people's channels, so it feels like it's been a while since I've actually posted anything, so I'm kind of getting behind on what I've been wanting to show. And I haven't done seems like it's been a little while since I've gone back to my top 100 favorite albums list, which has been taking me over a year. It's going to take me a couple of years, I think, to get through this, because I try to do it once a week, but sometimes I get busy and other ideas come to my mind. But so I'm going back. We're at number 41, so I'm getting close to my top 40 favorite albums. And obviously these albums are just absolute fantastic. I mean, the closer I get to number 1. And this is my first John Denver album that I've talked about on the channel. This one here, I got it Back Home Again. I talked about it because I bought it not too long ago because I knew this video was coming up, but there's a photo of it. John Denver and his wife, Annie, which is significant because one of the songs on here. But yeah, this came out in 1974. It's his 8th studio album. I mean, he made quite a bit of albums, and this is one of his biggest ones. So eight albums in, he's got one of his best ones coming out. And it's around this period he comes out with, I think, some of his best music. But yeah, I'm a big John Denver fan. Grew up listening to John Denver. My parents were big fans. They both saw him in concert multiple times, I believe, in their life. So they always talked about John Denver growing up. And I remember they always had John Denver playing in the car, and when we went on trips and so forth. So I was always very familiar with John Denver growing up. But yeah, definitely been a huge fan of his. It's one of those, I call him, he's considered a country singer sometimes, sometimes folk singer. I think the best description is he's a country folk singer, I think, because he's definitely a folk singer to me. He's a songwriter, plays the acoustic guitar, he tells stories through his songs. I mean, he's a typical folk singer, I would say, which was really big in the 70s. But he definitely had more of a country sound to him than most folk singers I listen to. Unlike, I guess you'd say Bob Dylan's he goes more pop or rock on some of his folk, and even blues on some of his folk singing. Jim Croce and James Taylor, I'd say more pop sounding folk, which I think a lot of folk music is more pop sounding. John Denver definitely in this album, he definitely has a couple of songs that are definitely more country music sounding. Anyways, but I really love his sound. He has such a great voice. Really, I think you describe him as being really smooth. His vocals and his music overall, just very easygoing, very easy listening. Just very smooth, very happy music. It just makes you just want to go back and go, oh, so good, close your eyes, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is definitely one of his best. I have 3 John Denver albums on my top 100 favorite albums list, and this is the first one I've talked about. So you can tell I've got 3 3 of his albums make into the top 41 of my albums, so that's pretty good. He definitely, the other 2 are definitely a little bit higher. 1 is very high on my list. He's, I think it's very underappreciated, in fact, because anytime I see anybody's list of top, 100 albums or something, I never see a John Denver album. In Rolling Stone's top 500 albums list that they've, made and remade, there's never a John Denver album on them, which is so crazy because he's got some really good albums. 3 of them for me are really, really good, including this one, Back Home Again. So I think he should be on more people's lists in my opinion, but that's just me. The big song on here is Annie's song. Like I said, his wife's name's Annie. He wrote the song for it. It's one of the great love songs of all time. In fact, it's kind of special in my family because my parents, who got married in 1975, they had somebody sing Annie's song during their wedding, and they had a couple different John Denver songs. Like I said, they were big John Denver fans, and so they had some John Denver songs playing during their wedding. And I know Annie's song was a big one. I think maybe it was even played when my mom went down the aisle or something like that. So it was a big deal to my family. It's probably my mom's, I'm sure, maybe my dad's favorite John Denver song, I'm sure. But also the title song, Back Home Again, was also another big hit of theirs. Those are the 2 big singles off the album, in fact. Annie's song went #1 in the pop and adult contemporary charts. Like I said, very, very popular song. Like I said, my parents got married in 75, so I mean, this was only year or less old when my parents got married, so it was obviously very big at the time in the radio, so it was like perfect timing for my parents getting married. And I feel like a lot of people probably got married, had the song at their wedding. It's a very popular love song. I mean, it's one of the greats. Also, Back Home Again went #5 in the pop, adult country, and or adult contemporary and country charts. So it went #5 in 3 different charts. Like I said, he can go across pop, I think, country. He has he kind of goes through a couple different categories, I think, as a singer, like that. So those were the 2 kind of big hits on here. Like I said, Thank God I'm a Country Boy is on here. That's definitely the most country song I think John Denver ever did. Of course, because it has, Thank God I'm a Country Boy. It's not one of my favorite John Denver songs, to be honest, just because it's a little too country for me, and I'm not a big country guy, and so it's like that's one I'm not as crazy about. I think Grandma's Featherbed is also very country. It's not one of my favorite songs on here, but great ones like Matthew was a really good one that came off of here. And This Old Guitar is an absolute excellent song that I think was played on the radio as well. And it was not a big single, but I think it's fairly well known amongst people who know John Denver anyways. So those are some of the bigger songs. There's some other smaller songs in here that I really enjoy. Like On the Road is really actually a really good song that it's not as well known. I don't know it that well until I'm listening to this album. And I'm like, wow, this is a really fun song. Just about being lost, going on a family trip and getting lost, kind of. It was really good. Like Clips is a really beautiful song. Sweet Surrender is a really nice song, I think. The Music Is You and It's Up to You are really nice songs on here that I really enjoy. And that's what makes it such a great album. Even the songs that I don't know as well are very enjoyable. And a lot of them are really just, these nice, sweet songs, very beautifully written and arranged by John Denver, who's very good. Like I said, I love that acoustic guitar sound, and his voice just sounds so great together, in my opinion. So yeah, all of them are pretty darn good songs, and a couple of some of the best songs I think ever written. In the charts, this album went #1 in the U.S. Billboard Top 200, and also #1 in the country charts. Like I said, popular in both country music fans and pop music fans. I think both this album did very well. In fact, I want to say this album, it was his first #1 album for John. So this is definitely one of the best well-known albums from John Denver. So like if you ever wanted to listen to John Denver, this is definitely one of the albums you should get or should listen to on Spotify. It's some of his best work. Obviously, there's some other albums I like even a little bit more, but this is definitely one of them you should get or should listen to if you want to get into John Denver, in my opinion, because it's definitely one of his highest rated ones. It's first #1 album, like I said. Went #1 in the U.S. Billboard, and Like I said, Annie song was the #1 hit song on it. Also went #3 in the UK, so did very well in the UK. Overall, went 3 times platinum in the US and gold in the UK. So obviously did much better in the US, but 3 times platinum. So it did very, very well. Sold a lot of records, did well in the charts, all that. So yeah, it's definitely one of his iconic albums, I would say, for John Denver, and definitely one you should pick up. Okay, now going to my top 3. I already talked about there's a lot of songs I really enjoy on here. Like Matthew is such a good song. Didn't make it to my top 3. Very well could have. Especially like it because it talks about it's about a guy named Matthew who's like his uncle who comes to live with him, who's from Kansas. Of course, I'm from Kansas, so I enjoy that. It talks about the gold Kansas wheat fields and the blue Kansas sky in the song. So I really enjoy the notes to Kansas on there. Anyways, but yeah, really good song, Matthew. Didn't make it in. Very good. Like I said, This Old Guitar, one of my favorite John Denver songs. Didn't make it on my top 3, or no, it did make it on top 3. What am I saying? I'm now looking at my top 3, and I see This Old Guitar is in there. I guess I'd just say Sweet Surrender, really great song. Didn't quite make it in there, and some of those other ones, On the Road was very good, but didn't make it in. So let's go to my top 3. Now I'm looking at my top 3, kind of was messed up there. Number 3 is Back Home Again, the title song. Very, again, title song of the album, very well-known song of his. Definitely one of those one of his greatest hits kind of song. And just talking about, of course, John Denver, I think, singing from a point of view of being on the road a lot because he was doing concerts and being on TV and stuff. So he's away from home a lot. So, of course, it's a song about how great it is to be back home, being with your family and just all the great, you just love your home because it's, it's just, you always say, oh, this place feels like home. Home is just a nice place that you feel safe in, I guess. So it's just a nice going song about it's good to be back home again. Really great chorus, really catchy, fun to sing along chorus, I would say. Number 2 is This Old Guitar. I don't know why I didn't think it was my top 3 because I'm thinking this is one of my favorite songs. Of course, this is my top 3. It's like probably a top 10 favorite John Denver song, I would say. It's just such a fun song but I love the idea behind the song. He's playing the guitar and he's singing about his guitar. That's a musician for you, someone who loves playing guitar, writing a song about their guitar. But I love how the lyrics are really good in the song, talking about, this old guitar taught me to write a love song, taught me how to laugh, taught me how to cry. Something about we had some good times, we had some sad times, or something like that. So he's just talking about all these memories he has with his guitar, because of course John Denver, he learned the guitar when he was young, and he was writing songs since he was young, and so the guitar is a very emotional piece for him, and he looks at, singing the song kind of as an ode to the guitar that he first played on, I think, and, and how it made his, how it's changed his life. I think in the song, he even talks about, how the guitar has, basically made his life, because his whole life is playing guitar and singing, and so the guitar gave him his life. It gave him, his career, so he's almost like this thank you note to his guitar, like, thank you for giving me all these things. Of course, it's him playing with the guitar, but yet he's kind of nodding to the guitar, how much, it means to him and how his life has changed because he had a guitar, so, and I play guitar myself. You can see maybe a little bit, I have an electric guitar back there. I don't have an acoustic guitar at the moment, but I need to get one because I love playing the acoustic guitar. And I've been playing since I was like 12 years old, or, that's about time I kind of really learned from my mom. My mom played guitar, and I used to watch her play and always wanted to play myself. And so it was fun getting to learn, and I still get out every once in a while and play around, just by myself mostly. And yeah, it's fun playing the guitar and playing songs that Of course, I don't write great songs like John Denver, I wish I could. But yeah, so yeah. Number 2 is This Old Guitar. Number 1 is the big hit off here. Had to be my number 1. It's Annie song. I mean, what a great love song he wrote to his wife. And, John Denver's a big nature guy. If you know anything about John Denver, of course, a lot of his songs kind of deal with nature a lot of times. And so it's a song that he wrote when he was out, I think, on a ski lift, because he loved the Colorado Rocky Mountains, and he loved going skiing. He loved he loved camping. He just loved being in nature, like I said. And so the whole idea is, he was on the ski lift and he just looked out and, and just how beautiful the land was, and thought about all the senses that you feel being outside. And you can smell the trees maybe, or, you can feel the air, you can see the beauty, and so he's using the senses. And then he kind of describes how much he loves his wife, Annie, and he compares that to his love of nature, basically, and how nature fills his senses, and his wife also fills those senses, just like, and in the song he says, you fill up my senses like a night in the forest, and all this other stuff. I don't have the lyrics in front of me, but, like something, and like a beautiful ocean or something like that, beautiful ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill them again. So he just kind of describes all these, senses he gets in nature, and how his wife also, he loves nature and he loves his wife, kind of thing, and that his wife provides the same love that he has for the nature, all the senses that he gets from that. So it's a really cool way to write a love song. It was very unique, definitely to John Denver, and what makes it such a great song. And he says, come let me love you, come live my life with you, come fill up my senses, come love me again, I think, of some of the lyrics. So it definitely has a lot of loving you, love me, you kind of almost like complete me kind of idea. You fill me up with joy and all this. So just a really, really beautiful love song, and got some great orchestra music, violins and stuff like that, which really help with it. And yeah, just a joyful song to listen to, and one I think about my own wife when I listen to it, and how much I love her as well. So yeah, it's definitely one to pick up and listen to, is Annie's song, number 1 on my list. So yeah, so that's my number 41 on my list, Back Home Again by John Denver. Please feel free to comment. What do you think about this album? What do you think about John Denver or some of these songs? What's your favorite off this album? Love to hear the comments. I always say hear. I don't know why. I love to read them. I don't hear comments. I read them, but hear or read the comments I love to do. And so just thank you to everybody watching this video. Thank you for liking it. And just thank you to all the subscribers for supporting the channel. I really appreciate all of you. I hope you have a good day.